Okay, people. So, boy, was really happy that Glass Onion hit Netflix. And it was like I was meant to watch this film at this year's London Film Festival, but because I was ill, couldn't go. Couldn't go. So I was like, the anticipation of seeing, does this live up to the first? Because I thoroughly enjoyed the first film. You know what I mean? And I remember, because remember, Johnson was coming off of The Last Jedi, which stunk. Oh my god, it stunk. Now, I enjoyed the fact that he tried to tell a different story, right? He took it out of the comfort zone of Star Wars, but there was just a lot of stuff in it that it was bad. It was bad. You know what I mean? Fucking layer in space, just too many hokey shit. But Knives Out, when that came out, you're like, yo, this is the shit, right? It was kind of like it really shows his craft and his skill in storytelling, which wasn't necessarily all there with Star Wars. So you thought, hey, that's his ticket back, right? Anyone, yeah, people hated Star Wars, but this one, boy, gold. So the big thing was, what will a sequel be like? Right? What was a sequel be like? Now, I think I remember at the time hearing that, Agatha Christie was a big inspiration for Knives Out. Right. And when check out Miss Marple or Hercule Poirot, any of them stories, none's like a straight sequel from the previous. They were all just different adventures. Right? Now, there might be the odd thing that could carry across, but essentially, they're all standalone films, books, should we say. Uh, so, as you know, Agatha Christie's an inspiration. You kind of felt, okay, so Knives Out, this sequel, it should it shouldn't have any hindrance from the previous film. It can be something completely fresh. But how's he gonna do it? So like with the original, he wrote and directed this one. Um, the film is produced by Johnson along with Ram Bergman. It is executive produced by Tom Kowalski, and it is co-produced by Leopold Hughes and Nikos Karamigos. Nathan Johnson handles the music, Steve Yedlin, cinematography, Bob Dukas edits the film, Brett Howe and Mary Vernew handle the casting, Rick Henricks, production design, art direction. We've got Andrew Bennett, Sanjita Balat, Anna Giadu, Mark Harris, Dragon Kaporemvik, and John McHugh. Ellie Giff handles set decoration. Costume design was Jenny Egan. And our cast. Well, obviously, Daniel Craig is back as Benoit Blanc. We've got Edward Norton as Miles Bron, Catherine Hahn as Claire DeBella, Leslie Odom Jr. as Lionel Trousson, Kate Hudson as Birdie J, Dave Bautista as Duke Cody, Jessica Henwick as Peg, Birdie's assistant, Madeline Klein is Whiskey, Duke's girlfriend. We've got Noah Segan as Daryl, who's it's a random character. He's just a guest of the house. Jackie Hoffman is Ma, not in it long. Very memorable. Very memorable scene. It was great. We got Dallas Roberts as Devon DeBella. That's obviously Claire's husband. Right? We've got Ethan Hawke is in it. Hugh Grant, Stephen Sodenheim, Natasha Leon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Serena Williams, Yo Ma. Right now, the funny thing with Johnson, right? Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in a lot of his films. Well, two of his biggest, right? Looper and Brick. Wasn't in Last Jedi. I don't think he was. As far as I'm aware, I don't think he was. Can't remember if he was in Brothers Bloom. I hated that film, so I'm not sure. He is in this one, but I won't tell you how. Adele Farrouk is Claire's assistant. Yeah, I would say that's, probably our main cast, right? All the big players up in this. But yeah, great. It was great. And listen, it is a new mystery for Benoit Blanc to solve. That is Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Now, the crazy thing about this, right? There's people in it like Kate Hudson. Haven't really enjoyed a lot of Kate Hudson's films. She is really good in this. Everyone is really good in this film, right? I think you think things are going a certain way, but there's so many really interesting swerves that, oh man, you just thoroughly enjoy it. And I will say, when this film started, I was a little dubious, right? Not because I'd heard anything bad or anything like that, but we start off with everyone in masks and talking pandemic. And I was like, oh no. Oh, for fuck's sake, a fucking film. And it's masks and pandemic talk and just all of that shit. And I think one of the big things is because, right, in a lot of these fucking pandemic films and TV shows, we have scenes with everyone outside and people are still wearing masks. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Right? We know wearing a mask outside, there was no fucking need. What's happening here? Right? And so it's just like sometimes you feel it's Hollywood overcorrecting, being like, look at us, we're being really good. Oh, and you're just like, ugh. But they did solve all of that shit early on. Early on, so we didn't have to focus on that, which was very good. And then from there, we just got to witness this film. And I think one big thing, right? It's a situation where people are friends with someone, but are they really friends with someone? So you need these characters to really kind of show this two-sidedness, right? And they do. Oh my gosh. Oh man, everyone does a fantastic job of displaying the lack of backbone. right? The lack of backbone. And there's just these little killer lines up in the place, right? There's a point in the film where Benoit is talking to Birdie, and Miles has said, "Oh, Birdie is like she's a truth sayer, right?" And Benoit sits down next to her, and she's like Miles said, I'm a truth teller. Some people can't handle it." And Blanc's like, "It's a dangerous thing to mistake speaking without thought for speaking the truth, don't you think?" And then she's like, "Are you calling me dangerous?" Thinking, "Oh, that's a compliment." And it's just these little interactions that you think, nice. Oh, well played, Johnson. Well played. Because we get to see these vacuous people clinging on to this thing, right? Clinging on, but at the expense of what? Right? So we get to see all of that. Then this just opulent millionaire just throwing around his money and just some of the ludicrous shit that Miles has got in his pad. Like the whole glass onion thing is explained because it is like, what does that mean? Right? Is there, many layers like an onion? And there are some layers, right? But yeah, just all of these things, fun as hell. Is a really fun who done it, right? Which, as I said, like there's so many swerves in this. Just the beginning, right? And then we get several more with a real nice use of flashbacks and multiple angle kind of storytelling. It just makes this film, which you are enjoying, right? I was definitely enjoying the film, but you're thinking it's one thing, and then suddenly it's like boom, 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 and you're like, oh shit, okay, I'm down for this. This explains everything, right? Because I was wondering, how does that happen, and how would that be? Right? Are they really doing that thing? Oh, yeah. So it opens it up real well. Um, the end is interesting. I mean, the end isn't bad. I wouldn't say the end is bad. It was like, but you are kind of wondering, how are they going to end this? Right? How's this going to get brought home? And actually, when you think about like Agatha Christie, the way a lot of her stories end, they don't necessarily end in the way where you're like, oh, okay. It's and that happened. And you're like, wait, what? You know what I mean? So yeah, Johnson does follow in that kind of vein, right? So it's a little peculiar, but does make sense. It does make sense. But everyone's still a shithead, right? Everyone's still a shithead. There aren't a lot of characters here that are like crazy likable, even though at the beginning you might think, oh, they're great. But whew, it's hard to tell with some of them. Are they straight dumb? You know what I mean? Or just real nasty. But that unfolds throughout. So yeah, I think you get some answers, but it's a definitely a very thoroughly enjoyable Benoit Blanc adventure. So I would say if you enjoyed the first film, right, you will definitely enjoy this one. Some, real fun use of the camera, right? Which it's not necessarily one of those ones where they are avoiding showing you stuff, but it's certain angles which then make you go, hmm, you know what I mean? It's a nice play on things. So we get that. It's very vibrant in places. You know, the story really works. And everyone, as I said before, puts on great performances. Like you're not watching this film thinking, it's just Dave Batista. Oh, it's just Ed Norton. You know, everyone's really throws themselves into these characters, and it's a testament to what Johnson's able to bring out of people, and just these great performances. People, Glass Onion, a Knives Out murder mystery, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. There's no mystery about it. It's a great film. Check it out.